Welcome to a special video on Honkai Impact 3rd, where I will be showing the very end of Chapter 2 of the Elysian realm. First, there will be a little bit of talking in the archive, and then there will be one playthrough of the game. So, let's get started with what I would like to call About Mobius. Klein, tell us about Mobius 2. Grey Serpent is also a creation of Mobius, but you seem drastically different. Grey Serpent was the first artificial life form with self-awareness created by the Doctor. As the first, he was bound to have some flaws. Flaws? I don't know the specifics. I was created a lot later than him. But the Doctor once said some human instincts were surprisingly amplified in Grey Serpent. Like survival instincts? I don't know. It's not in the database. He's not a member of the lab and rarely shows up, so I have no chance to observe him. Well, Klein, do you have similar flaws? No. The Doctor tried to replicate the accident that brought out those traits in Grey Serpent, but there were strange results. So the Doctor did nothing to me. But maybe that's why I seem less human than Grey Serpent. Huh? Each time he returned to the lab, he seemed different, more human. But something like this never occurred for me. Maybe it's because you were already human when you were created. How about Mobius 3? Try not to stare at me without saying anything. It's distracting me from my work. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's alright. You already did. From the moment you came to the Elysian realm. I don't mind. Just ask me if you have any questions, and don't wait until I finish my work, because that might take a very long time. Alright. Mobius, I mean the one I met in the realm, told me she was the real Mobius. Is there a problem with that? But every flame chaser in the Elysian realm is supposed to be a sim, right? Is there a problem with that? I know you didn't do this on purpose, but the way you speak does remind me of Mobius's influence on you. Being a sim and calling herself the real deal when everyone believes Mobius is alive, isn't that contradictory? It sounds just fine to me. Be it appearance, memory, personality, behavior mode, or thinking pattern, the sim you have seen is no different than the Dr. Mobius I used to know. And the 50,000 years spent in the Elysian realm didn't bring any changes to her. So from the observation data, she can of course call herself the real Mobius, and I have no problem with that. Observation data. Klein, the way you think is not very typical of humans. But Klein, the only thing that doesn't change in the world is change itself. 50,000 years left no mark on her. That's something suspicious to begin with. Kevin. Alright, I admit there are certain unique individuals among flame chasers. Well, Klein, I concede for now that the real Mobius is still alive. But if one day she shows up here, do you still believe the sim is the real Mobius? I don't understand what you're talking about. Why deny one for the sake of another? There's no necessary connection between the two. They can both be the real Mobius, or the other way around. The bottom line is, there's no clear definition for the real Mobius, and everything you say is subjective. I'm certain, in certain circumstances, you may even reach the conclusion that you are the real Mobius, which is normal as well. But if you're just asking for my opinion, I can only say I don't feel like wasting my time on this. Dr. Mobius has run into this paradox many times, but every time she managed to make the option she desired the one and only possibility. Hey Kevin, your name was mentioned. Do you want to tell us about, let's say, Mobius? No, he does not. Kevin, I don't mind the others, but since when did you start giving me that look? I remember, our relationship wasn't that bad, was it? You've changed, Mobius. Ah, you noticed. Am I a bit taller? Raiden May is the first Herrscher to come to the Elysian realm. I thought you'd show up before her, but you waited this long. Why? Haha, Kevin, don't put it like I'm a little girl who couldn't resist the temptation of a new doll. For such a once-in-a-10,000 years opportunity, of course I have to take some time to prepare. Otherwise, if something goes wrong this time, we'd be regretting it for an eternity. You said you wouldn't keep the truth about the past from me anymore. That depends on how you define truth. I need to know more about the Morphs, the Flame Chasers, and especially Mobius. You rarely speak of her, and it's the same with the others. The most they say is I should stay away from her. As a group, you're unbelievably indifferent to each other. Friendliness is a luxury in a world to be raised by Honkai. I think you know that too. Or in your age, Honkai is something you can easily cope with by playing house, maybe. I didn't experience your age, and I find it hard to emphasize. But Kevin, you're not the only one who lost something you hold dear in the war against Honkai. Never mind. This is not what I came here for. Wish to know more about Mobius, especially about her life and death from other flame chasers. Mobius can never die a real death. I believe the others gave you exactly the same answer. And that's everything I can tell you too. Hey, Raven. Can you tell me about Mobius? Ah, isn't this Raiden May, Lady Busy? What? You finally picked up some workplace etiquette and come to visit your senior? I have some questions for you. Still the same old May, who won't even bother to act nice. What is it this time? You said you never saw Mobius in reality, but that could mean a lot of different things. A few months ago, no one in World Serpent had seen Kevin, and it might be the same situation for Mobius. So, is there any record about Mobius' death in the World Serpent database? Death record? Impossible. I told you flame chasers were worshipped as gods in World Serpent. Anything that touches them reads like myths and legends. From the start, records about them are not to help you understand them better, but to nurture fear and devotion. Any examples? Let me think. Sakura is a good one. Before coming here, anything I read about her was pretty much like this. The Shadow Walker, with her dual blade forged by gods, took a path of betrayal and sundered her faith in the old world. I'm not 100% sure about the words, but it was something like that. Before seeing the flame chasers with your own eyes, you won't get anything valuable from the potential scripts. Anyway, why are you suddenly asking me this? What, you're interested in where Mobius has ended up? I just want to find out if she's survived. Why don't you simply ask her? I don't want too much contact between you two, but for this question only she can give you the best answer. Oh wait. I remember Grey Serpent said something about Mobius. He said when he was looking for a surviving flame chaser as the leader for World Serpent, Mobius came to his mind first. But of course you know it's Kevin who sits on the throne now. I don't know what happened, but Mobius wasn't a survivor. Grey Serpent wouldn't even consider her. Makes sense. Elysia? Can you tell me about Mobius? What's wrong? I can't help envying you whenever I lay my eyes on you. Envy me for what? You are now a young and tender girl, and in a few years you'll turn into a graceful, dignified lady. From a fresh new bud to full blossom, your life's beauty comes in different colors and forms. But I, on the other hand, have lost the right to change and can only stay forever at this dazzling moment. Just a joke. But my envy is real. It's a matter of mentality. You'd long for possibilities once you're used to monotonous beauty. Every once in a while, I'd fantasize what I would look like if I had a chance to grow older. Even reverse growth like Mobius experiences sounds good. Wait, you said reverse growth. I remember Mobius saying she didn't turn into a kid on purpose. A lab accident? So you're more interested in her than me. That's heartbreaking. I'm more interested in you, alright? Just tell me about Mobius. Alright, I was just teasing you. It's normal for anyone who sees her to be interested. Even I nagged her for a long time for the answer. After all, it was jaw-dropping to see a colleague turn into a teenage girl in just a few days. A teenage girl? Not a small kid. She just looked a few years younger back then. She always wore a lab coat and it was hard to tell the change. But you noticed. Clothes and makeup can change how young or old you look, but the observant Elysia won't fall for the trick. Besides, her transformation didn't stop there. Even the most ignorant eyes could tell the difference after she turned into the kid she is now. They asked her what happened, but she just drove them all off. Could it be her ichor? We share the same thought. I guess you can ask her in person if it's biting you. She likes smart brains, and you will definitely get your answer. Well, okay, let's get to the source and ask Mobius about Mobius. Dear lab rat, you came to me again. It's alright, Hasher lady. You won't be the first one playing hard to get. They say they are not interested, but they are curious as hell. I've seen the type. Save your breath, Mobius. You are full of lies, and I doubt there would be anyone willing to participate. Lies? Dear lady, have you mistaken me for Elysian? Yes, that's so. Well, do you have anything to explain about I am the real Mobius? Isn't it obvious? I don't see any need for explanation. How long do you plan to keep lying about it? There can't be any real flame chasers in the realm. You're just a sim like the others. I heard you. So, how does that contradict what I said? If you're truly immortal like the others believe, the real you should still be out there. Haha, you're making the same mistake again. Who told you a sim can't be the real Mobius? You're just denying the truth. What? You finally realized? Yes, there's a possibility that can reconcile the contradiction. The way you show up in the realm is different from other flame chasers. To some extent, you are just like the successors. There might be some reasons that prevent you from creating a sim, and you had to leave a part of your sentience here. This explains why Grey Serpent didn't insist on making you the leader of World Serpent. Because that would undermine the integrity of the Elysian realm. Sorry, lady, I have to interrupt. What exactly is going on in your crazy little brain? I'm thinking there might still be another Mobius somewhere in the real world, only no one has ever seen her. Maybe her body is kept at a secret place to maintain the existence of you, her sim, in the realm. If this is the case, then everything can be explained. Asha lady, can you stop making absurd guesses? I'm beginning to pity you already. Be it Grey Serpent or Klein, they know very little about me, so don't rely on what they say. As I said, before your eyes is the real Mobius. You can call it a lie, but you'll never find evidence to prove your suspicion, so it has to be the truth. Well, that looks a bit like a dead end. Let's talk about something else. Raven, about the Elysian realm. So, does that count as completing your trial? Since I became a World Serpent agent without any problem, I guess so. As I have mentioned before, the World Serpent regulations aren't that strict. There's no one standard for passing the trial, as long as we are able to complete our transformation. The way you talk about it is very similar to someone else. I'm surprised she hasn't shown up by now. But anyway, what kind of transformation are you talking about? I found out they had their eyes on me. If I didn't accept the bounty, I would never be able to leave this place. To complete the baptism, I need the help of another flame chaser. Sounds like it wasn't easy. I went to see Eden, and she gave me something I could as a bargain chip with Kevin. In the end, he gave me the chance to get out of here. You were able to convince him. It wasn't as hard as you might imagine. In any case, I completed the trial given to me by the flame chasers, but I just didn't want to accept the final gift. I should mention that although Kevin Sim isn't the easiest to get along with, you can reason with him. I thought Eden would be the one to help you. Eden, she gave me the biggest challenge when I was trying to leave. Although we got along well, it took me a long time to get her approval. Why? Problems that can be solved by brute force are the easiest, and Eden values precisely the opposite. Tell me more. Alright. Until next time then. Goodbye, Miss Siora. You seem to be in good terms with Sakura. Sort of. She likes to hear the stories of the kids from me. If Sora and the others could come here, Sakura would definitely like them. I didn't know Sakura had such a soft spot. Oh, you don't know? She had a baby sister, and they only had each other. When she created her sim, her sister was about Sora's age. I did hear her talking about her family, but not the details. Ah. At least she still talks about her sister every once in a while. If she gets to know what truly happened, there would be one less person here with whom we can have normal conversations. Huh? Have you heard about the hash of corruption from the previous era? I read about it in the World Serpent database, but that's all. Raven shrugged and felt there was no need to continue on that topic. Was it Sakura's sister? I guess you can say that. Sakura's death also had a lot to do with it. The only family she had left. I can imagine that. Alright, never bring it up in front of Sakura. I wouldn't be able to help you if something happens. I know. Someone already reminded me not to talk about her ending to her. I mean every one of them, not just Sakura. Try not to bring up anything that happened in reality. Even if they ask, you'd better stay silent or play dumb. Is that necessary? I thought the same before, but I learned a harsh lesson about that. Before there was some kind of order in the Elysian realm. But after Chakal came, it became a rather dangerous place. Who knows what she did. Those who took the trial after her, a lot of them went missing. You know what I mean. Chakal was here before? Yeah. Anything odd about that? She's one of the World Serpent agents too. But it's natural that you don't know. You wouldn't even know I was here if I didn't tell you. Indeed. Don't talk about your experience in the realm. It's one of the unwritten rules in World Serpent. It's not strictly forbidden, but if you talk, maybe someone would feel they were treated unfairly and come here to complain. No one knows how this would affect the Sims, but keeping it a secret brings the least trouble for everyone. Flame chasers might be worshipped, but they are just like us. I can understand the secrecy. That's probably one of the reasons too. Anyway, just try to keep it to yourself. Right. Which means the successors can indeed influence the Flame Chaser's Sims in some way. Harsh lesson Raven mentioned and Chakal. Wait, I remember Hua said something similar before. Who are you saying? Hey Hua! Tell me about the Elysian realm. Hua, I'm not sure you've kept this memory. You told me that to avoid unpredictable consequences, you kept Sakura from the truth. Yes, in the Hash-Off corruption invasion, the real Sakura made a choice none of us foresaw. I might have made the same choice if I were in her shoes, but for the moths back then, her choice meant betrayal. Betrayal? Oh, so this is what you meant by the hard lesson, right? No, that's something that already happened in reality. What I'm trying to avoid is, the Sims of Flame Chasers undergo unpredictable changes under the influence of successors. Sounds like it has happened before I came here. Yes. So who is it? Dr. Mobius. Flame Chasers had more or less some ideas about their endings and come to reconciliation with it, including Dr. Mobius. But after learning something about the outside world, she became visibly irritated. Wait, something about the outside world? As far as I know, the name Mobius never showed up in the real world. And that's exactly the problem. No one knows her mantis better than herself. She couldn't have died in reality, but why was her name never heard? Even a brilliant mind like Dr. Mobius can be trapped by her own curiosity. She looks like someone who'd do something about it. The problem is, no one knows what she did. At the beginning, she only seemed anxious, and when I realized it, she was already planning something. And her anxiousness grew into something like a frenzy, the kind she showed in her previous experiments. But it's impossible for her to influence her reality in any way. It's too early to tell now. In her research, she has demonstrated the ability to redefine what's possible. And I'm not sure it's connected to her plan. But this situation did arise after that. Some successors went missing for no reason. Missing? Yes. They didn't pass the trial, or linger in the realm. No one knows where they went. If there is indeed a connection, I'm afraid she has fundamentally changed the way the realm works. And it's dangerous. Kevin told me, not long ago, a successor sensed something wrong with Dr. Mobius and left the realm abruptly. Maybe she saw the underlying dangers. Someone who left the realm not long ago. That would be... Raven! Tell me about Mobius. I've heard about you from more than one flame chaser. Huh. Someone else spoke of me besides Eden and Sakura. Yeah. What you did left a strong impression on them. Hey, what's the big deal about it? I don't believe I'm the only one who's done this. From their reactions, you're perhaps the only one who passed the trial but rejected the bounty at the final moment. I know you've been very cautious, but I don't suppose anything ordinary would make you run away instantly. Run away? Can you find something more appropriate, like retreat? If you wish. So, before you retreated, what did you see? To be honest, I didn't see anything. The best time to fall back is when your gut feeling tells you to. It's too late when it actually happens. But there must be something that triggered your instinct, right? After all, you're not a real bird. Who knows? Have you read Grimm's fairy tales? Maybe I'm a raven that can foresee the future. Alright, I was joking. The reason was probably that I felt something was amiss. Something was amiss? It was Mobius handing me that bounty, and she is someone you'd better steer clear of, even for a chat. Not to mention in that particular situation. Yeah. She showed up out of nowhere and congratulated me on passing the trial of infinity. Then she took me to an area I'd never seen before. It was green and made me uncomfortable. She said she was going to baptize me for the last time, but something felt off when I entered that area. Which was... For instance, a battle obviously occurred there. Call it a professional hunch. I'm sensitive to those matters. This is peculiar, removing the restraints. Why on the battlefield of us all places? You've known the true meaning of the Elysian realm since then? No, I found it out from Mobius on my way there. You know my stance on lifting the restraints. I was already planning a safe retreat at the time. It's not that simple, right? Yeah, I assumed someone like her had gotten used to being rejected a long time ago. Who knew she'd flip without warning? She sensed something before I even spoke. I have to say, she is dangerous. I swear, all I did was blink, but she was gone. Gone. Yes, in a split second, she was replaced by... What? Nothing. It's just that I couldn't find a word to describe that thing. It's too solid to be called a shadow, and too sharp to be called a black liquid. And was squirming like a living being. This sounds impossible, but this was what happened. Like a living shadow. And have you figured it out? Of course not. The only thing I know is that I must get away as far from that thing as possible and never look back. What a battle. Anyway, I'm glad I got lucky, or you could very well be seeing a different person. If I were you, I might have stayed behind and observed. This is why you're always in danger, Miss Raiden. Klein, tell me about a little bit of danger. For example, about the anomalies in the Elysian realm. No hardware error found. No base logic error found. That's curious. Did I make a wrong judgment? The Elysian realm has stayed the same, and there has never been any change. But how is this possible? Wait, the anomalies. They are possible without modifying the software. There's only one person who can do that. Just when Klein thought of this, a thick, slimy shadow came from behind and enveloped her. Though she was used to it, goosebumps did creep up her back and make her shiver. When the shadow fell on her, it felt like something tangible, cold and sticky. Of course it was you, Dr. Mobius. Only you know Elysian realm better than me, and only you can bypass the access control. Very well, Klein. Sound reasoning. But if your purpose is to stop her from further exploration, this is meaningless. Even without my help, the Hasher can get into the abnormal areas herself. Klein, did you forget what I taught you? Don't let your mind dwell on the surface. Think what's the nature of the anomalies. Nature. 3 types of portals. Behavior mode probe, shadow, environmental recognition block, and sentience modification. Dr. Mobius, do you plan to... Your research on the 8th Hasher, has it succeeded? We'll know very soon after the experiment returns a result. But I remember you have given up on the research. Given up? Not wrong, just... The footsteps came nearer, drowning out Mobius' words. Huh? This time, Klein, try to exert yourself a bit more. During the experiment on Hua, if you worked an hour more every day, the result might have turned out to be more satisfactory. Dr. Mobius, the way you shift topic is just... And how can there be 25 hours in a day? Klein, you are such a hard worker. Time to return to the main plot. The purpose of the Elysian realm. Do you have a minute, Klein? I made a wrong judgment myself. Your question, please. I'll do my best to answer it. Wrong judgment? That appearing before you would accelerate my work of restoring the realm. I appreciate your help, but my work efficiency has dropped as a result. Sorry, but only you can give accurate answers to these questions. I'll try to make it short and not take too much of your time. If you're asking how to deal with excessive workload, sorry, I don't have any experience to share. I'm an elf, and I don't store knowledge about taking care of the lumbar or cervical vertebrae because I have no need for it. That's not what I meant to ask. So what do you want to know? The purpose of the Elysian realm. After running into an old friend, I learned my experience here was out of the ordinary. For visitors other than me, what are the criteria for completing the trial? Different people gave me very different answers. Since you're the maintainer of the Elysian realm, I suppose your answer is more reliable. Different answers. From the flame chasers, are you sure? Win the approval of a flame chaser and acquire the full collection of their signets. That's the only way. The only way? This is the truth. Raven was indeed no exception. Which is to say, every visitor has lifted their restraints. Lifting restraints? What does that mean? From what I've learned, there'll be a bounty from the flame chasers for passing the trial, which grants the visitor the ability to undergo an active Honkai reaction, just like a mantis. Active Honkai reaction? That's impossible. The realm was built for passing on the legacy, but it is limited to the signets. An active Honkai reaction is only possible for the mantises, and there are no such things as restraints. Can you tell me about Mobius Immortality? Everyone here thinks Mobius can't be killed, including herself. But to me, the presumption this is based on doesn't seem very convincing. Presumption? Yes, they believe it's because Mobius can slough off unfavorable situations like a snake shedding its skin. But this ability likely has its limits. If she resurrects too often, she might be sent back to the origin of life and vanish forever. It's nothing. The side effect is real, but it doesn't keep her from growing. Growing? You're saying the side effect diminishes with time? And for her, there is more than one path that leads to immortality. There are other ways? Yes. To achieve this, she did a lot of research and developed over 60 solutions. That's just the part I know about. But I'm not sure how many of them are viable. A researcher that fears death. She isn't alone in this, but her results are remarkable. So you also believe she's one of the flame chasers who survived? I've given my answer. In my opinion, the sim in here is the real her. And she does have fear, but death is never the source. So, what's her plan? Mobius seems to be very different from the sims of the other flame chasers. In comparison, she is more interested. Maybe she's only interested in you. Huh? No, I don't think so. It's said that she's been planning something dangerous, but no one knows anything about it. She never asked you to assist her with it? No. She's always been this way. She won't tell me everything about the experiment, even if I offer to help. Wouldn't that easily lead to lab accidents? No. On the contrary, me knowing too much would bring trouble to her. But as the maintainer, are you not at all bothered by what Mobius did in the realm? It might even have an impact on the existence of the realm itself. Of course I went to her for confirmation, but it turned out to be another experiment of hers. Even in the worst case scenario, the damages won't be irreversible, so I have no reason to get in her way. Experiment? Can you be more specific? To me, her experiments are all more or less puzzling. It's about sentience transfer. She had researched 8 Herrscher for a long time, and this tech was the result. But with numerous limitations, the tech can hardly be applied in any practical way. Even she herself only used it to create Grey Serpent. Sentience transfer. Sounds like a mixture of dangerous possibilities. Maybe, but she has given up on the most dangerous one. I've wasted too much time. I have to go. There's too much unfinished work. Wait, Klein. She's gone. So they believe Mobius is immune to death, not just because of her mantis ability. But if that's true, then where is the real Mobius now? Mobius's bounty. Experiments on sentience transfer. Dangerous areas in the realm, and mantises taking a special form. There has to be some kind of connection, only I'm missing the key pieces of the puzzle. The only thing I'm sure of is, the Sim of Mobius here has a different goal than she did when the realm was founded. Mobius, only you can give me all the answers. No. I can't simply throw questions at her without preparation. Just like before, without solid evidence, she won't tell me anything. Well, there's only one way. Mobius, you're sure hard to find. Hehe. It's you who've been avoiding me, Herrscher lady. You won't come closer, but you beg everyone for more of my stories. I have to assume you have a secret crush on me. But you don't have to be this way. I've been looking forward to doing some interesting stuff together. Can we have a normal conversation? I came here for business. Fine. How does Elysian pull it off? Something wrong with my imitation. Hard to imagine you'd imitate someone you detest. Can you blame me? People always put up their guard against me, and I have to try something. If imitating her does benefit my experiments, I don't mind at all, though I take no pleasure in it. But it doesn't seem to work on you at all. Alright, lab rat, let's talk about business. I believe you and I have only one matter to discuss. Putting you on the operation table and studying what makes a living Herrscher so special. Shall we try? Sure. Alright, I knew you'd say no. So why are you here wasting my time? Wait, what did you say? I agreed, Mobius. That's exactly the business I have in mind. It's been a while since I came to the Elysian realm. If what I've seen is everything it has to offer, I'd regret coming here at all. I think I'm now qualified for the final bounty. Mobius's pupils suddenly narrowed into 2 thin lines, reminding me of a hungry snake sizing up its prey. For someone who knows biology, they'd realize a snake with such pupils is only active in the dark. Is that so? Did you not say it wasn't what you want? Yes, I did, but I'm ready to leave now. The data buried in the realm is too fragmented. Maybe it's a mistake from the very beginning to seek answers here. And before leaving, I think I should see the real purpose of this place with my own eyes. Are you really speaking your mind, Asher? You can of course think it's just a lie if you have enough evidence to prove it. I see you're a quick learner of the way I speak. Alright, let's just suppose you're telling the truth. It doesn't matter to me anyway. But have you thought it through? The bounty is a way to remove the restraints, but no Asher ever walked this path. Which means it's an unprecedented experiment, and I can't tell you what will happen. So what, Mobius? What's already known is of no use to us, is it? I'm beginning to like you more, cute lab rat. Well then, I'll grant your wish. I'll go prepare the lab. It may take longer to make it Asher ready. And to restore the sim to its best status, I'll have to take back all of my signets for now. Which is to say, you won't see me again until entering my lab. Think you can endure it? It might be hard, but I can assure you it will be worth it. Because when it's over, I'll grant you a new lease on life. And after this, we need to return to the battleground. Special story process will be triggered if you start with this difficulty. Completing the challenge through said process will not count as finishing the periodic mission. Let's get started. The path to Mobius's lab seems to be open again, May. I'm worried. You didn't agree to something weird, did you? We're playing as Elysian, so again, as said last time, we get to choose 2 blessings from her at the beginning. These being her charge shot and the one making her dome lasting more. And then we are gonna try to boost her ultimate as much as possible throughout the run. I mostly picked Elysian because he just ends stages really quickly. And that is without her being even fully upgraded. Or without having any of her signature weapons or equipment. I didn't expect to like playing as her as much as I do. But at least for these first few stages, she will have no problems whatsoever. Also getting Pucci to give her twice the evasion, which is important for one of her personal skills. That was some cinematic timing with activating cult was here. We sure did not need him. We're also taking Puhua's buffs because getting her 3 times defense barrier is very helpful most of the time. If you get 3 of her signals, you get a barrier that completely nullifies damage you take for a while until you get hit a few times. I never remember how exactly things work, but I know it's very useful. And she also has regular signets that boost physical damage, so it's no harm to get her stuff. I'm even buying the next one of her so we can easily get a 3rd one later without having to actually pick her gates too often. And I'm upgrading my ultimate buffs. And here is the final Fuhua we need. Very convenient. We can even get 2 of her buffs, although it's not especially convenient. We beat the stage under the timer, which, as you would probably guess, is not too much of a problem for Elysian. So, 1 more total damage buff. And also the total damage we take is decreased. Not bad. And now we don't need food anymore, so let's not pick her. Ultimates, however, we probably will be taking until the end of the run. Here's Benares. Even he shivers under the might of Elysian. Look at his health bar just getting deleted. But then, in the final health bar, he's suddenly getting dangerous. Let's never forget that Benares is still Benares, even with little health. Gonna skip the shop here in the hope of getting more ultimate buffs instead. Because if we don't pick the shop, it will reappear after this fight. So we probably lose out on it completely if we don't pick it. This second area of the Elysian realm is kind of a joke for Elysian because it's mostly mech type enemies, which she's strong against. And now we are gonna skip the shop completely because there is an Elysia signet, which we definitely want. It does mean we cannot switch our supports for the next boss, which I usually like to switch out my Bronya support for the Durandal support to break his shields easier. Anyways, now we get the skill that uses our evasion skill to recharge the purple bars above our life bar if they run out. Which pretty much just means Elysia can keep using her strong charge attacks during ultimate without pause. We also pick a SP boost signet due to not having a better choice, but it's also useful because we are mostly using our ultimate, so getting some ultimate recharge won't hurt. It's a bit sad that we are kind of wasting a double signet floor to count down on a signet giver we don't want to prioritize, but it also doesn't hurt to regain more SP, both from attacking and over time. Yay, let's get some more Sakura buffs. Maybe we can also get ×3 bonus from her. Anyways, here's Heimdall. As I said, the Durandal support is very good at breaking the 4 barriers below him, which when broken stun him for a while and make him take more damage. But Elysia can also break them herself. It's just slower and she does a lot of damage anyways because she's a mech. He, however, also does a lot of damage to her. Thankfully, as we figured out last time, when Elysia's health drops to 0 or 1, she actually encases herself in a crystal and heals back up to 4. It's still quite scary every time it happens. Because I still haven't read skill descriptions and don't know if there is ways for it to go wrong. Also, we did not get hit after that. I'm not sure if that attack speed and move speed skill is better than the SP recharge one on Sakura. But that was a bad selection overall. Let's actually go to the shop now. It's quite dark, suddenly. Darker than usual in this area. We are switching now to the Elysia equipment, which makes it more likely for her signets or her portals to appear. Because we did get most of the ultimate boost signets, and there are none of them to upgrade in the shop, which is very sad. So I have to go upgrade the Fuhua signets we got instead, which are not nearly as good. And there won't be any more shops later, so I decide to just spend all the money I got on all the kinds of things that are even somewhat good. I even play with the thought of buying signets that activate on getting a high combo, because Elysian does hit enemies quite often, so her combo does reach quite high. So I guess it's not a waste. Then I also decide to switch out Chariot for Bright Knight after all. Bright Knight does also give you a short moment of complete invincibility while she is being on the field, which can be very helpful on the harder bosses of the Elysian run. But she also just attacks enemies with some good damage. This time Mobius can actually be on the screen for a few seconds. Did he help? Probably not. More Sakura buffs. I'm essentially getting all the buffs I want. And some extras that I didn't need. But also don't hurt the plan. Even this late, Elysian is just destroying these enemies. Which is good, because we like getting bonus rewards. Even though they are not the best. But we got her free signet buff now. That's good. Right before the end too. That's not the usual symbol for fighting good old clock friend. Ask Nihilus is still a giant troublemaker, even for Elysian. He does good damage, but it still takes a while. And he can actually circumvent her healing with the crystal if Image Taint is active at the same time as she reaches 1 HP. You'll sometimes see my mouse hovering over the pause button at the top, because I'm very afraid of instantly dying against this dude. Okay. Getting really close to death. Thankfully, the moment he did get me to 1 was at a time when Image Taint was not active. I guess it's called Imaginary Taint, now that we know that Imaginary type is a thing. I still just like to call it Image Taint, because it's IMG. even then, he's still getting me down to my bottom third of HP before his big clock attack, which Elysia can deal with quite easily. Funny enough, Annihila's Seed actually survived longer than the boss, which has never happened to me before. Asher lady, it's been a long while. Do you miss me? Mobius. Ah, I thought you'd come sooner. The waiting was killing me. You can go first. If your patience runs out, I don't mind. How could I? You're my best friend, and I'd never leave you behind. Ah, I see. You're mad at me because I didn't give you a Signet of Infinity, right? It's alright, I get it. The Signet is just as enticing as me, right? I'll give it to you. Just like when we first met. What? Come, my lovely lab rat. Accept my signets, my blessings, my power, and come close to me. Accept everything from me. Silent. Lip poison. Entwined. Rodent. Dark pupil. Lodging. Infinity X. Unknown X. Newborn X. Dead X. Well, that's a lot of signets. Mobius signets are actually very good if you can get lots of them. So the fact that she gives us all of them here before question mark, question mark, question mark is telling. Is this the place Raven mentioned before? Ah, sweet lady, we are back here again. Do you still remember where we first met? Mobius, don't you wish to experiment on me? Uh-huh. But I'm not seeing any operating table here. Operating table? No, the experiment I have in mind isn't that simple. I knew the bounty was a lie. A lie? Sweet lady, have you ever been honest with me? You never planned to leave the Elysian realm. You threw yourself headfirst into danger just to figure out my real purpose. Since neither of us is honest with each other, let's just let it slide. Do you remember what I said to you when we first met? Sweet lady, can you take me out of this place? Drop it, Mobius. You're the owner of this place, and you don't need me to. Wait, you want to leave the Elysian realm? Ah, you finally got it. That's impossible. You're just The word sim stopped at May's lips. She'd suddenly realized what the missing link she had been searching for was. Everything she thought she had just found herself was fed to her by Mobius on purpose. Mobius had been leading her on along with smoke and mirrors, luring her into an elaborate trap. Mobius' plan had worked. Her eerie laughter penetrated May's skin and seeped into her nerves. The attempt you made on Grey Serpent, the tech you thought was able to save Klein. It's sentience transfer, right? Yes, sweet lady. I've been waiting for you to say it out loud. But it might be too late for you to leave, to have regrets now. A living Hesher, a perfect body, the most precious gift I've ever received. After leaving the Elysian realm, maybe I should visit Kevin and thank him properly. So this is your plan. I should have known earlier. Handing me all the signets of infinity was not to help me. Rather it was to adapt my body to your sentience, right? How clever, Labrat. Under different circumstances you might become my best student. Sorry, Mobius. If this is your plan, I have to say you found the wrong person. Fighting another sentience for body control, I have plenty of experience with that. Haha, fighting? Sweet lady, what are you talking about? I'm not interested in sharing the body. The experiment will be over soon, and there will be only one soul who will walk out of here. You'd better hurry and say goodbye to your sentience to Raiden May. It's you who should say goodbye, Mobius. Drop your disguise and let me see your real face. Ah, you know about that. What a curious kid. Still trying to learn more secrets before your last breath. Well, as you wish. Behold, the real Mantis. What? Ah, you seem shocked. What? It's only been a few seconds and you don't recognize me now, sweet lady. Sure is unrecognizable. Now I know why Raven rejected your bounty right away. Raven, that little girl, flew in fear even before witnessing the true beauty of life. Ah, what a shame. The door was open for her to evolve and transform into something beautiful. I wonder if she's still regretting it now. Ah, you'd have to ask her yourself. Ah, you seem calm again. Impressive. So this is an active Honkai reaction, a true Mantis form. It's surprising, but nothing more. Nothing more? You do have a good sense of humor, Hesher lady. You don't think you still have a chance, do you? You think you can accomplish what it took 3 flame chasers to do? I won't know until I try. Very well, I like your attitude. Do you know which kind of test subjects have the best survival rates? Not the kind with hopes and wishes for tomorrow. Those who already buried in despair are most likely to survive. In other words, reality usually works against your wishes. Right back at you, Mobius. And let's find out if it's going to be Raiden May or Mobius that walks out today. Here comes Flame Chaser Mobius. What a grotesque being she has become. Made of 20 plus life bars, no less. Getting eaten up by Elysian just the same. But then she revives with 25 new. And now she is invincible, which I didn't quite notice immediately. So, time to avoid for a while. She is summoning creations of infinity. Stop, Doctor. This isn't you. This isn't a choice Mobius would make. Klein, how did you... No time to explain. I'm not the same as you. My capabilities are limited. I will help interfere with Doctor's puppets. If I can't block her, think of a way to get out of here. Disruptive puppet. Klein! To the rescue! Maybe it's us now who is invincible. To zero like pass, but now if you revive again. Or is it just some creations of infinity similar to Needles? Who left some of his friends for last. No, of course not. Mobius is back once more. Getting smaller and smaller in terms of life bars, but reviving nonetheless. Ah, but everyone has a limit. It's over, Dr. Mobius. I have the high ground. By a few centimeters. No, maybe I should stop calling you this. Klein, why? You should be able to understand me. You knew what I sought to accomplish 50,000 years ago. You never objected. Why would you get in my way now? Because the real Dr. Mobius had given it up already when she told me about the plan. The real Mobius? What do you mean, Klein? I am the real Mobius. That's what I had always believed. There's no difference between you and her. Thoughts, behaviors, and personality. Just like she once saw me as the continuation of Klein, I had regarded you as the real Dr. Mobius. But now... Enough! So in your eyes, Klein, I'm someone who rejects change. No, that's not how I think. But what you did today was something Dr. Mobius would never do. She had gone through many changes, but there's a part of her that had always remained. And that's the critical difference between you two. Critical difference? What a joke. I know I can't convince you myself. But fortunately, Dr. Mobius had a sound plan prepared for this. What? She left something and told me to give it to you, but I never did. To me, passing on a message from Mobius to Mobius seemed pointless. Until now. She left something for me? What trick are you trying to play, Klein? I've never been a sentimental one. This pointless formalism doesn't sound like me.
私がするようなことじゃないのは分かってる。けど、あなたに何かを伝えるチャンスはこれが最後なの。何と呼べばいいのかしら。メビウス、それともう一人の私。
What is it, Klein? You like the old me more, don't you? This hologram recording is what she asked me to show you. She recorded this before her death. Death? Klein, do you have any idea what you're talking about? For me, death is impossible. Yeah, even I myself find it hard to believe I'm going to embrace death. What? Is it live communication? Klein shook her head. Klein, if you wish to deceive me, you should have played smarter. I remember everything that happened when I still looked like that. Back then, even the Elysian realm didn't exist yet, so how could I have left a message for myself? Because it's interesting, isn't it? Reviewing your past as an outsider, this doesn't happen every day. You should thank me, the other me. If it's me, the words of denial should have been uttered in full by now. Of course, by the time you see this, you might have changed a lot and even become talkative. But anyway, this is the last time. Be patient and just allow me to finish what I've got to say, alright? I finally have this last chance, but I find myself lost for words. You know what? I made this decision long ago. The final Herrscher's coming is just an excuse. Ridiculous. I know this sounds ridiculous, right? In the eyes of many, Mobius is immortal, a monster that has broken the cycle of life and death. But you must know, we fear death more than anyone else, especially the great unknown. Do we die when we are killed? No, we can be resurrected. Just enduring a bit of pain, just growing smaller, just shedding an old skin. When I first became a mantis, I didn't think it was a terrible thing at all. On the contrary, the power brought me great joy and gave me an endless life to explore every possibility of evolution, until I turned out this way. That was when I finally realized resurrection doesn't equal infinite life. I still might die a real death, but when would that be? After dying 10 times or 100 times, when I degenerate to infancy, or to an embryo, or to a single organism, I don't know. I know nothing. But I remember when the fear of the unknown grabbed me by the throat for the first time, I was overwhelmed. That prompted me to find a way to true immortality, something that would always keep me one step ahead of death. Enough. But what's the point of that? I still remember that morning when the experiment failed again and Nuva was lying on the floor, too tired to stand up. She asked me, Dr. Mobius, what's the purpose of immortality? I searched my mind but couldn't come up with a convincing answer. Yeah, what is it for? Humans are meant to die, right? Then what's the point of my obsession? That's the first time I doubted myself. Foolish. Sounds foolish, right? But that's not all of it. Never had it come to mind that it would be Alicia's death that brought me clarity. I used to hate her the most. Her death made me understand something. People driven by fear and fumbling forward in the dark. I didn't realize I was one of them when I laughed at them. Up till the end, I didn't wake up to the fact that I was a loser too. At that time, I finally heard the other voice in my heart. It told me death was the only constant. You surely understand that, right? In the past, last words was never in my vocabulary. Of course, if I so desired, the final Herrscher wouldn't have been able to totally destroy me. Not very convincing, right? I now look like someone ready to falter at any second. But you are another me, and I don't have to explain myself to you. Even if the civilization dies and the ground beneath our feet crumbles, resurrection is always possible for me. It's just that now, I'm tired of it. For Mobius, this is it. But you finally realized you've said nothing but rubbish. I don't know. These words just came to me naturally. Maybe because I can feel my end is nigh, but this is the message I wish to leave you, Mobius. Before my eyes, infinite possibilities are retracting into a single endpoint. The descent of the final Herrscher will very soon turn the world we know into a boundless desert. Not that I care, but still, I feel an urge to say this before it happens. Grey Serpent line. They've heard this and I believe they've understood it. But when it comes to you, the other me, I'm not so sure. The two of us are looking at two different pictures. For you, the path of infinity still extends into the horizon. No one can get in your way or make decisions for you, not even me, your creator. Enough. You're still Mobius after all. But should you choose the path of Mobius, the path of becoming me, it's still a choice made by you among infinite possibilities. Anyway, you are free. Dr. Mobius, the hibernation pod is being activated. Please come over now. Alright, I'm coming. Looks like it's still too early to call myself a total loser yet. Infinite possibilities. They've evaded me ever since I discovered my mistakes, but I created them myself, didn't I? Through Grey Serpent, Klein, and you. Infinity is all the possible choices you can make. I'm sure when you'll be able to see this thousands of years from now, or even longer. Everything I've ever known should have turned to ashes long ago. But for you, it has just started. You're my best creation and my proudest work. You realized my lifelong pursuit the moment you were born. Mobius, the other me in this world. Say goodbye to me, alright? Follow your path and become you? What a joke! If you were truly me, I have to say I'm deeply disappointed. Infinite choices, that sounds pathetic. What I'm going to do is to go beyond infinity and all the possibilities out there. Your path is just one tiny branch among millions. You... What's that look, Klein? You think I'm boasting? Do you really think she chose death voluntarily? What are you saying? So you did fail to realize that. Try to remember, Klein. When was the last time she went into the Elysian realm to sync her memory? Right after Elysian. You're my favorite assistant for a reason. Yes, during the sync I took advantage of the moment to plant a seed in her memory. Thank you, Klein. Now I finally know it has sprouted and borne fruit. Why? Because I don't need to become the second Mobius. I will know I have made myself the one and only Mobius. Klein, my favorite assistant, will you still attempt to stop me? Haha, looks like I can finally put an end to this cheesy drama. Someone got a little bit of dark under their eyes. Klein, you know why I watched it patiently? Huh? Snakes never let go of their prey. Waiting is their forte, and now is no exception. The data of this area is disappearing. You've been trying to delete this area just now. That's right, Klein. There's still a lot you need to learn from. But relax, no substantial harm will come to you save some minor data loss. You might experience something like amnesia, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because I doubt it would be a pleasant memory for you to witness your new Hasher friend perish in despair. Sorry, Hasher lady. Sorry you have to put up with such a farce. And I thought I was an outsider all along. That's not true. You've always been my favorite lab rat. But in my lab, any lab rat that bites shall be punished. Well then, goodbye, Asher lady. What I've not been able to finish will resume tomorrow. That is, of course, if you manage to walk out of here alive. Mobius. Wait, test subject, don't chase her. The area is gone, and so is Dr. Mobius. We still have time. I'm looking for a way to help you get out. Damn it, this portal was shut down with Dr. Mobius too? Klein, I remember you have a habit of evaluating the situation using probabilities. So what are the odds of us getting out alive now? 0. Thanks for the cheering me up. Cheering you up? Against all odds, you are still trying to find a way out. I'm beginning to understand what Kevin meant. I believe I myself and you, rather than the numbers. May closed her eyes. The next moment, a bolt of raging lightning shot out from her and lit up the darkness. It worked in the theater of domination, so it should work in here too. Are you unleashing your Hasher power? This is a space constructed by memories, and it won't... Impossible. Oh, it's her. Your power drew her attention. Never mind. Let's get out of here before it's too late. And that is victory. not happening, Mobius. Someone we are both interested in won't fall for your trap this easily. Alicia, put a lid on your conceit. Ah, right. You've always been trying to get me in a pink dress now. I'm in a good mood today. If she can somehow walk out of the realm alive, I'll indulge you for once. You can put on the dress now. What? Finally back. What did I say, Mobius? My poor intentions have always been unstoppable. That's impossible! How can you two come back alive? Who knows? Maybe it's just dumb luck. Dumb luck? Are you kidding? Was it you, Alicia? Huh? Sus. Mobius, don't go yet. Mobius! Ah, she left. Just like that. Pink dresses must be number 1 on her hate list. That's the only explanation. But her sudden look is surprisingly cute. She looked just like an adorable little pufferfish. What do you think, May? You knew Mobius's true intentions all along, right? Ah, May, what makes you think that way? I'd have stepped in much earlier had I known. Did you hear everything Mobius and I said? She only told me about it after being certain she could leave the Elysian realm. It's like when your cat messes up your curtains and proudly walks over to you. I'm glad she didn't hear this. I wouldn't say this if she was still around. Maybe it would be the snake instead of the cat. I said it to her face. Who knows? Alright, May. Drop your serious face. The fight is over. You defeated yet another flame chaser. That's something no one could even imagine before. Besides, she was dead serious when fighting you. You saw how she looked, right? Yeah. So May, you can afford to be more proud of yourself and cheer up. You can even jump up and down to celebrate. Or maybe you're waiting for me to give you a big hug or something. I can do that if you want. No need. Nothing to celebrate. I didn't come here to fight flame chasers. I came to look for the truth, and that has never changed. But recently, I came to realize there were more flame chasers with hidden agendas like Mobius here. Take you, for example. Alicia, I'm still not sure what your drawn arrow is aimed at. Me? Just like you, I've always remained the same, quietly appreciating the changes you have brought to the Elysian realm as a bystander. That's all I hope for. And with this, we are back to the present. With 4 more stories that got unlocked after defeating Mobius. And which not even I have seen yet, because I skipped them. They are more memories, which we have heard so many about. First one being Alicia's Memory 7. Wow, I didn't expect such a thing to happen in there. You knew it. I felt you watching me in battle. Well, I still remember the last thing you said. I believe in myself and you rather than the numbers. We've gotten so close already. I'm touched. Thank you for saving me, but why? Because it'll make things more interesting. Let me rephrase my question. You knew this was going to happen and you didn't take any action. Why? Just because it would make things more interesting? I knew you'd be my soulmate. Pretty please, don't leave me, okay? I admit I'm slightly better informed. But only to the extent of knowing that she sees you as a vessel for sentience transfer, and this is her true purpose. Sounds like that's all there is to it. Not really. I don't know why she chose you, how she can accomplish the transfer, and why she's implementing it now. That's why I want you to talk to her, to clear up my doubts. And staking my life on it. There's no way you'd lose to her. After all, you're an embodiment of beauty, wisdom, and power like me. Please cut it out. But I'm being super sincere. Forget it. If I were in danger, you wouldn't really sit back, would you? At least I understand you two do not share the same purposes, which is enough for now. I'll keep going, and one day I'll know what your real purpose is. Okay. Seriously, why does everyone believe that there has to be a purpose behind everything? I wonder what purpose Kalpas has in his 9th memory. That's amazing, Hasha. Somehow you're still alive. Alright, coming from you, I consider that a friendly greeting. Maybe you should feel lucky to be alive to hear my compliments. Compliments? When did you compliment me? You held your own against Mobius in that form. Looks like I underestimated how quickly you'd progress. Looks like you might be ready to take on the full force of my wrath. Want to try? No need. I don't want to engage in unnecessary combat with flame chasers. And what is it you want? To hang around here and annoy people with your questions? Why don't you put it in a nicer way, Kalpas? What's the point? I think you understand me perfectly well. Alright, Hasha. There's no need for you to keep beating around the bush. It's annoying. I'm losing my patience. What is it that you want to know? Sue told me something about Klein. I'm talking about Mobius's former assistant, the human Klein. I heard that she was a manifestation of the 10th Fascia. She attacked Mobius, but ended up being killed. It seems like there's a lot more to that incident. For various reasons, Sue isn't willing to tell me the full story. I don't have any inside information. Then it seems that Sue has been successful in concealing the truth. But Mobius has her own opinion about this. She thinks that Sue and the others are concealing the truth from her because they fear if she finds out the truth, she'll retaliate like Kalpas. I've seen something about this in the archives. During the incident of the 10th Fascia, you and Mobius had a friend in common, who became a Hasha. If I remember correctly, his name was Emil, right? Don't say that name in front of me, Hasha. You don't have that right. None of you have that right. Get out of here, Hasha. My patience has run out. Unless you want to let me kill you right now. Get out! Well, let's not die. Let's ask Hua to give us a shield that protects us from dying. In her memory 10. Impressive, though I don't know why you fought Mobius. If successor's defeated her in that form, I'd definitely have recorded in my backup. This means you should be the first person to have done it. Thank you, Hua, but like Elysian, I don't think Mobius has exerted herself. After all, fighting isn't her expertise. And judging from everyone's version of the first Institute incident, Mobius in the Elysian realm has likely never displayed the level of power that the real Mobius once had. The first Institute. That's right, Hua. You mentioned an incident that took place there to me. It was in that incident that Mobius revealed her serpentine form. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, but since she was able to resist multiple flame chasers, I doubt she's an opponent whom I could defeat. Don't underestimate yourself, May. You've beaten opponents like that before. I hope I can again. Mobius once told me, taking that form is instinctual for mantises after they have undergone the surgery. Is it the same for you? I don't think I've seen anything similar happening to you. Not only me. Besides Mobius, all the mantises do their best to suppress that instinct. The essence of mantises is that we use the power of Honkai to counter Honkai. Compared to average people, we are naturally more inclined to slip towards the Honkai side. When we received the metamorph surgery, we were taking the first step towards transforming into Honkai beasts. And the first step is usually most difficult. Things get easier after that. Are you worried that one day you might turn into a monster like Mobius? Yes. But I'm more worried that in order to defeat Honkai, a day may come when we'll be forced to make the same decision as Mobius. I'm afraid there will be no viable alternative. That's all the memories, but there was one small scene with Sakura that I liked that I thought I'd use to end today. About myself, too.
全文明起源にもこういった武器があるの？それともこれも伝承の一部なのかしら？監獄氷点のことか？あなたの腰にある2本の刀のことよ。私の故郷ではそれは歴史のある。
Awkward.
先にどうぞ。小さい頃、よくお父様と共に稽古を。ええ、大体の状況は察したわ。監獄氷点。いい名前ね。もう一本は？少し見覚えがあって、昔聞いたある伝説とよく似てるわ。その刃を見てもいいかしら？確認したいことがあるの。すまぬ。これは簡単に抜けるものではないのじゃ。わらわにとってこれは戒律の一部じゃからな。
Those two sure are similar. But that's all I wanted to show off. Well, it was a lot anyways, so I guess that's fine. Thank you for watching, and see you another time. Maybe in the Elysian realm, maybe somewhere else.